Hey guys, what's up? It's Merc here from Poolshed Games, and today is going to be another episode of The Quest for Gaming at College. This time around, it's going to be a shorter episode. I think most of this season, the episodes are going to be a little bit shorter, a little bit more condensed than they have been. One of the reasons for that is the groups that I am playing with in the games are smaller, and it lets me focus a little bit more instead of it being so wide. The first thing I guess we'll talk about is the D&D group, which we've started that campaign. The ball is rolling. Things are going relatively smooth. As I said in a previous video, each player seems to have their own personal quest. This time around, our dwarven fighter, who's becoming a wrestler, or wrestler, as I like to think of him, is almost finished with his personal quest for his character, which is granting him a magical mask. It makes him a better wrestler. So that's kind of cool, and it lets him wrestle things that are bigger than him a lot easier than if he didn't have it. So he's become the grappler of the group. Sometimes when you play these games, you always have these really funny moments where things happen and you just have to go with it. And at one point in the game Monday night, the fighter, our wrestler, decided he was going to try to tame a bear. It was a lot of grappling. Well, it was the dwarf grappling the bear throwing the dwarf off, the dwarf coming back grappling the bear again, and then getting thrown off again. In the end, we had to kill the bear. Funnily enough, it was the sorceress who was just like, I've had enough, and like flame sphered the bear and killed it. We ended up with a bunch of bear meat to carry with us. Needless to say, the dwarf was a little sullen for the remainder of the evening, but it was one of those funny moments because you just kind of picture it in your head. But that's D&D. So far, like I said, we're not focused on like an overarching story. We're focused more on just individual stories for each player. The dwarf's last part of his quest is taking him towards a part of the map that I think my character's mini quest is also going to be involved in. So things are getting tied together. I kind of like the decision that our DM went with this semester because it is nice to have these little individual quests that we all work together on completing. It's something I've never tried before, but I might try it in the future myself for some of my games. Excuse me. Now, the Dystopia Rising game that I have been trying to run, starting to think it might be slightly cursed. We were going to try to start it last week, which was the second week of school, because the first week we got characters made. Second week we're going to try to make it start. We're going to try to make it happen. Didn't happen. Didn't get it started. This week, Tuesday, we got together, another player made a character, and we just didn't get it started. We're going to maybe try to start it tonight. If not, we're going to play a board game. But the problem is schedules. And I think it's because we're still in the very beginning of school, so everybody's still getting used to their schedule and how they're going to plan their free time and their nights. So hopefully, either tonight or next Tuesday, that game will finally begin. The nice thing is it's been giving me a little bit of time to work on the story that I want to provide for my players. The downside is I keep pushing the story back because I end up having more time to work on it. And I admit sometimes as a DM, especially in college when I have homework and things to do, I can kind of be a bit of a lazy DM and kind of just come up with an outline of what I want to do for the night and slap things together as I go instead of having a full adventure ready. It's never worked out poorly, but sometimes it does leave me kind of scrabbling for ideas. But all in all, it usually works. And once we get this campaign actually started and we get it off the ground and we're playing, I'll be more committed to working on it because I know people will be interested and they'll want to keep it going. And I think the players will be more interested because they'll be more committed themselves because they'll be part of the game. They'll be, involved in the story. And that to me is important because if you're going to do an RP night and you don't have people that are involved in the story, you don't have like commitment between everyone involved, it's not fun to do. And even when you do have players that are committed, if you have players that don't take it as seriously as everybody else at the table, it's also not that fun. Because I think sometimes what people don't understand is, as a game master, as an organizer of the game, you put a lot of time and effort into running the game, and when somebody just completely takes it non-seriously and blows things off, it's almost like an insult to the person who's taking that time to run the game. Thankfully, you don't have that very often, and if you do, either as the game organizer or your players will take care of it for you. And that's always a good thing, especially if you have a good group. That's how you know you have a good group of players. But I think that's going to be it for today. I know down home we're not RPing role-playing at the moment. We've been playing, like last week we played Dystopian Wars. This Friday, the Lich Lord and I are going to get together, and we have to talk about, hopefully, the future of our gaming group down home, away from college, because we had started that Star Wars campaign, and it's kind of gotten just tossed up in the air. And I know the one player is really excited about that, and I really want to continue it so that he can continue playing. So that's something that the Lich Lord and I are going to have to talk about and maybe work on, even if we have to bring in new players to bulk the group back up and keep that going. And the other thing that I have to do is, once I finally get Dystopia Rising off the ground here at school, is talk to a buddy of mine who graduated, was in our D&D group, played Pathfinder with us over the summer, and see if maybe he'll want to join us for our game night on Tuesday or Thursday up here when we roleplay. It'll give me another player in the group, it'll give me another experienced player in the group, and that's always nice too, because he can help kind of guide things along and keep things moving at a relatively decent pace. But that's what we got going on here at school for gaming, and it's what I got kind of going on at home for the role-playing element. Stay tuned, because either later today, Friday, or sometime over the weekend, I will be putting up a first part of my thoughts on Dystopia Rising, which I'm going to be talking about the character creation, because that is one thing that I have down. I've made 2 characters myself just to see how it worked, and I've helped 4 people make characters now as well. So that'll be the first thing that I talk about with the Dystopia Rising kind of system, and hopefully you guys will enjoy that, and we'll see you next time here at Bullshit Games.